Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tiger Tank 12, having to call me. I don't really care. Welcome back to World of Tanks, the test server once more, because today Wargaming have released the upgraded version of the Art of Strategy, where you now are able to play as one strategist versus 7 tankers, 7 tier 10 tankers, and you can also play as one of those guys going up against the strategist. So we're gonna do that right now. First, we're gonna be playing one tanker out of the 7 against the strategist, and then we're gonna go over to the strategist and play a 1v7. And for that, I have been thinking, you know what? I'm going to go with the mouse, because why the hell not? Why not play the mouse and go right into it and just be a breaching, huge, heavy that has a lot of HP, and I want to see how well the bots do react to us appearing on the battlefield, because the bots, they are quite interesting. They are a lot more intelligent than they used to be in World of Tanks, but they are still more A than I. So yeah, they're more artificial than intelligent at this point still. At least that's my perspective on things, because I saw how they reacted yesterday. There are still a couple of issues around this mode, but I think the core components is a lot of fun, and the core components work. Now the question is, does this work against 7 players? Because a one-on-one where 2 strategists are trying to go up against one another is a bit different, because both of the players are very much trying to outmaneuver the other one and outflanking them. They have 7 tanks to control, and they also have like the defensives. Now you only have like one player going up against 7 players, and all of these 7 players can communicate. They're all real players, so how players react is not always rational. So it's gonna make a lot more interesting situations, and I think the strategist will be kind of overwhelmed maybe by the sheer amount of different variables that are coming into this entire game mode now. So it's going to be really interesting to see how well the strategist will do, or maybe if the strategist will need a little bit of a work around. But as you can see, we're going up in this mode. We're on Ghost Town. I haven't played on Ghost Town yet. I've had a couple of games on open maps, but Ghost Town is going to be a very open map, and since we're a mouse, we're going to be moving into the middle of the map. You can see that my textures are really bad. That has to do with the fact that it's on the a hard drive instead of the SSD. So you could see a very low poly mouse right there. So, as you can see, we have a Kranwagen, we have a Super Conqueror, we have Leopard 1, we also have STB1, a FV, which is kind of funny, and the worst tier 10 light tank in the game. I don't mean the player, but I just mean the tank, and it's the RHM Panzerwagen. And we're going up against Object 277, Super Conqueror, Object 705A, T57, Foch 155, or no, Foch B, Object 430U, and the E4. So 1 autoloader, the rest are 2 autoloaders and some pretty good standard tanks as well. Especially the Object 277 is going to be quite impressive. So what you can also see is, you can see what kind of defenses the enemy has. And okay, our FE just knocked out the T110E4. So we have 2 MLRS, we have 2 gun placements, and we have flamethrowers. So this is going to be quite interesting. You can see the MLRS are firing on the Super Conqueror right there. And there's the Object 277, the T57 over there. He is concentrating most of his forces to the right side, because we have a lot of guys over there. And so far already, I can tell you guys that it seems that we're winning on the front, at least HP-wise, very clearly on. We're in a mouse and in a very slow kind of tank, but we already have the advantage of 3,400 HP at this moment in time and already knocked out 2 tanks. So yeah, the fear of maybe not having the right setup, or the fear of having tanks that do not work very well if controlled by bots, could be the reality. But so far, this is still the very first game I just hopped on, and that 705A definitely managed to penetrate my weak spot right there. And I think it is a bot. It looks like it's played by a bot because he's just moving forward, which is a bit weird. And that's well, he still managed to pen me. So yeah, these bots still hurt. Could be a player though. So I'm just going to angle a little bit, angle my tank. Yeah, it was definitely a bot. You could see how the bot had like issues of not being able to know where to shoot, and the bot was a little bit, you know, it just had too much to do. It couldn't really decide where to shoot. So right there, now we have a flame tower in the middle, and the MLRS is shooting at us. But the flame tower, you know, you really have to get really close. It does do a lot of damage when you get too close. Like, in a very short amount of time, it does like 400 damage, 500 damage by just eating away at your HP. And it doesn't have to look after if it could bounce or not. Or the gun turret just bounced us, or only did 76 damage. And now we have a Super Conqueror right here, who could be a player. Could be a player. I think it is even a player controlling his tank. I think so far. Because he was trying to flank us, but it was a clear victory. We didn't lose a single tank. As I mentioned, it seems to be the case that playing as the strategist is very difficult against 7 real players. Even if the players... Look, if the players don't have extremely good knowledge of their tier 10 tanks, it's still kind of... yeah, is difficult, I'd say. But still, as you can see, you can get some intel, you'll get some orders, and these are like points that you can spend on the rewards, as we've mentioned prior. I think eventually, probably. Right now, I'm not really sure. You have to get like to stage 3. Not even sure how you collect them. That's the question, how we can do it. So we're going to change our tactics. Now we're going to be playing as the strategist, and hopefully we can do some more damage than the other guys have done. And what I'm going to be doing is, I think I'm going to have the machine gun turret, and I'm also going to have the AT guns, because I want to see if this is going to work out. I'm going to use the gun turrets. There are going to be 2 of them available for us. So as you can see, compared to the 1v1, you have a lot more turrets and a lot more gun emplacements, and you maybe have to play more defensively minded when you're playing as a strategist, and that could mean that you have to set up accordingly. So what I'm going to be doing, because I want to be able to have quite a few damage dealers, I'm going to go with a Super Conqueror that I'm gonna have in my line. I'm also gonna have... I want to have a super heavy tank that can withstand some shots and, you know, generally defend very well. That's going to be a mouse. I'm not going to be planning like aggressive plays. There is still the cap circle that we have to keep in mind. The T110E3 obviously could work out, but what also could be working is maybe the F... You know what? I'm going to play the FV4005 personally, to try to one-shot players that are trying to move in and flank us. And then finally, I want to have some medium tanks that are able to flank if they need to do. I'm going to do it with the TVP, because that thing is going to be quite nice. And I also want to have the UDIS 1516, just to have some firepower, some fire support. Also, because I'm going to be playing quite defensively, I am going to be using an artillery piece, because artillery in this mode, I think, is quite capable. Oh, okay. So it turns out I need to have enough of these points to be able to play the Strategist in a 1v7 setting. So I'll have to earn these points before I can actually play that. So you know what? Give me a moment. I'm going to be playing some more 7 versus 1. And then I'm going to be playing the Strategist as soon as I have unlocked that. Now, we're going to be talking about this because I don't like the fact that something like this is in there again, because it looks like this is the way that they're going to be monetizing this mode. So, without further ado, I'm going to be right back. Okay, so I've been grinding a little bit, and I managed to get myself the 110 or 100 tickets that I needed to play this mode. And you can see they remove the intel, so that kind of sucks. There has to be always a hook with these things, and it looks like this is the one hook that pulls everything back. I thought that if there was nothing like this, this would be a game mode that would be quite fun, because I think that when you're playing as a strategist, it is actually quite interesting. But as soon as you start playing as a tanker, it kind of becomes a bit lame. I gotta be honest. So, right there, we're going to have the ability to place a couple of guns. So I'm gonna do that right now. Gonna place one big gun turret right there. We're gonna place one gun turret there. Now, I don't really know how good of a setup this is going to be, but I'm gonna try it out. We're gonna have the mouse up there. We're gonna have the tank destroyer drive there, and hopefully we can have a little bit of fun and have just a couple of machine gun ports right there. So let me drive this TD in here. I'm gonna drive with that guy down there, and these two guys, or these three guys, can go right here. I'm going to be playing this more as a strategy, as a commander right now, than I'm going to be playing it as a World of Tanks player, because I wanna see how well everything is going to work out. So we have the premium already loaded in. It's quite nice. It's good to see. Yeah, it's right there. The FV. We're going up against the Kranwagen. We're going up against a E100. We're going up against some other vehicles. I'm gonna see if I can pull this Udas back, because it is in a bit of a weird position. Hopefully I can get this tank here. Get the mouse there. Come on, shoot the E100. I think we're gonna lose the Udas. There was a bit of a bad play right there to get like the Udas all the way out there. I'm gonna take back this guy. Oh no, that was bad. That was bad. Yeah. As I mentioned prior in the first part of this video, it's really difficult to have like a good balance with all of these things, you know, because you're trying to control these guys, and it's really not easy, especially if they're like tanks that are difficult to pen. And I'm not really sure if our towers are doing their job properly right now, but I'm gonna pull back some of my troops, and you can see that the machine gun ports right here are actually doing quite a bit of work on the STB-1, and also that that one thing, the AT gun that I've placed right there. We have lost already one gun placement. We have also... Oh no, this is going to be a bad shot. I'm not going to be playing artillery because I'm really not the best arty player. We have lost 2 tanks as well, the medium tanks. Maybe I should have been more controlling of these vehicles. And I hope that my mouse, I have to readjust my mouse so that he is in the right kind of state to be able to defend. But it's really difficult to micromanage everything and still be combat effective with everything, because you need to control like really a lot of places, and it's not very easy as a commander. So currently I'm just trying to keep these guys like in the fight, and I'm trying to do some damage here. My artillery needs to help out over here. So I'm gonna fall back with this guy, and I hope that my 60 TP can help me out. As mentioned, playing against real players, and 7 of them is not very easy. Right there, we finally get some support. I think that was artillery, as well as some other stuff. And now we have to switch over to the 60 TP, because the 60 TP is just not really doing a lot here. He's unable to really hit anything. I should have probably turned the FV around so that the FV could have helped me out there. And now the FV is also taking hits, so that is very awkward now. So I'm just gonna try to move the FV out of this this area, because he is going to be taking a lot of hits. We only have 3 more tanks to control. Having 1 artillery piece right there does help, but maybe I should have used like the commands better, especially with the medium tanks. I kind of wasted 2 vehicles very early on, but we have done massive amounts of damage, with the majority of that being dealt by just the gun parts or the AI, and not even myself. So right here, yeah, the Conqueror, the gun carriage is the only tank we still have remaining, and you can see that the AT gun up there is doing work. Everything is doing work right now, and I'm just trying to stay alive, but I'm not able to do it. So yeah, it's very difficult at first, and I think that my placements did a really good job. The machine gun ports over here did a lot of damage, but I myself, I wasn't really able to switch in between, and it was very difficult to quickly moderate everything. But I still had fun. I still enjoyed it. The only problem that I see right there is now I've had this experience, and it was a lot of fun, but I just completely lost all of my my intel again. At least the intel is not the same for the 1v1 and the 1v7, so at least that's different. But I still lost the intel for that, and that kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. So yeah, this is the preview. Hopefully you could see the 1v7 is really difficult as the commander, but I have seen I have lost some of them as well as a tanker, because maybe you were too aggressive. But the map was actually quite nice. That was a good map to play as a strategist, but I just kind of messed it up with the tank selection. I think you need to go for more armor. You probably need to go with tanks that are able to hold back better, and like have better micromanagement when you're playing tanks. But yeah, it's been fun, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. As always, leave a comment, like, subscribe, tell me what you thought of the mode. I'll see you guys on the next video. Until then, have a good one.